Hi guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Tolu Akemi. Thank you so much for being here. Please, before you go ahead, please subscribe to my channel, and as much as possible, please guys, help me to click the like button. Yes. All right, so I want to talk about something with you. um During the week, I posted something on my WhatsApp status. In case you don't know, like, my WhatsApp status is a good place to be. I have more than 200 people in Africa viewing my status in 24 hours, so it is a good place to be. I get to talk a lot about few things that don't get on Instagram. Sometimes they don't get on YouTube too, but I try as much as possible to balance my way around it. Not really balance, but to just navigate my way around it. All right, so I want to talk about this thing about, I talked about investment, and the the purple shares, and I shared various resources with you guys, and I thought to just help you guys to make good decisions. The last time I did something like this was in 2021 December, when the MTN shares was selling, and a lot of people bought the shares just because I recommended it, and that was great. I was really happy. Somebody even bought almost like more than 100,000 naira worth, and I was so excited. I was like, person was like, I bought this because of you. And I was so excited. And when the person started getting dividends, person was like, don't like me, your head is there, good girl. And I was like, thank you so much. So I did it again this year by the grace of God and the privilege of God. And this year it was purple shares. The minimum amount of shares you can buy is 20,000 naira. That is 4,000 shares, and you get your dividend twice in a year, working into 2023. And I talked about it, and one thing I do is I tell people, see, this is not compulsory. It is not compulsory. I don't try to put it on people. So I say, what I got is I can give you resources, the things I read, things I watched, the podcast I listened to help you make your own decision on your own, which is what I did. I shared, I think, between 5 and 6 resources, and I shared it with more than 100 people on my WhatsApp status, and it's the the comments have been the comments have been wow. In the sense that I kept getting asked questions, and there's a particular question. If you There are questions you will ask me that I know that will make me know that you haven't gone through the resources. And that is the first thing I noticed about a lot of people. A lot of people don't, and they're not ready to research, they're not ready to learn. They just want, and I think, well, that is why influencer marketing is working. That's why influencer marketing is selling, right? People just come to you and they just tell you this thing is good, and then the next thing you do is you just go ahead and you just start getting it. I don't do that. So when somebody says this thing is good, one of the things that I do is I actually take time. Sometimes I block out 5 hours, 4 hours, and I say, okay, let me dive right into this thing step by step. That's me for you. I love to research. I love to find out things. I'm a very resourceful person. It's a privilege, it's a grace that I'm privileged to have. I'm a very, very resourceful person. So, and then people have been sending me questions. Then I get questions is even the end. And I'm like, yo, you did not read, you did not watch. And then I'll get questions like, as a dividend. I'll get questions like, is it safe? I'll get questions like, what if I don't know what to do? Like, how do I register? I even gave you a step-by-step video that you can watch, that you can use to register. You dey whine me. You dey whine me. And this thing is just, this morning when I was replying a message, a question on my WhatsApp, and the Spirit of God just singled out something to me and said, like, this was you some few years ago. You also did not know, some few years ago, you also, like 2018, 2017, you also did not have all this understanding. So be grateful for who you are and where you are right now. And I was like, oh, Baba God, yeah, I remember the days when I did not have Opolo. But I thank God right now, right? So, and then I just felt like, okay, let me just talk about this thing. Let me just come here and just talk about this thing with you guys. The way I said this channel is for sharing my experience, no matter how little, along the journey to there. Yeah, so that's what I want to share with you guys today. So basically I'm going to start from here, which is that investment is a journey, and you have to understand and be aware of that. Investment is a journey. So investment that is telling you that in if you do this it will bring this, you already know it is scam. You yourself, you know. Investment is a journey. Investment grows over time, and that is another thing that I've realized, that everything that is worthwhile, I say this to myself every day, everything that is worthwhile, everything that is what building takes time. That's why I tell myself to just encourage myself to not be all about all this fast something. That's why I do to tell myself. So it's one of the little things I do when it comes to contentment, to just teach myself contentment. And investment takes time. Don't expect um I don't even know how to put it right now, but I hope you get what I'm saying. Investment takes time, and you have to understand, and you have to be okay with it. Don't try to explain yourself out of it. Don't try to mago yourself. If you no get the chest, don't do it. That's just it. Investment takes time. That's one of the things that I have come to realize. If you truly want to invest in anything, it will take time. Do you get? Even you yourself, the first thing they tell us is invest in yourself, even you yourself. And that's what I tell people that I'm privileged to coach. I tell them, I say, it takes time, but give me 90 days. I promise you, in 90 days you will see the difference between who you were and who you are right now. And by the grace of God, it has been working. And people just tell me, oh my God, Tolu, I listened to the podcast, it has changed my mindset. I believe in something. I believe that if you have an understanding of something, it will help you to make better decision. Knowledge and understanding helps you make better decision. Knowledge, resources, and getting understanding helps you make better decision. That is my own mindset. I hope I'm not talking way over your head, actually. So that is what I do. That is what I did. I tell myself. So when I wanted to start my own investment journey, funny enough, the first investment I did was myself. I'm telling you, throughout 2019, I was crazily and voraciously investing in myself. It even got to a time, there was a particular course I wanted to register for. It was free. One of DDK's courses then that was free. And I was not able to, they said they used Vimo, and I was not able to enter the class and everything. Come and see, I called the respondent and I was telling them that you didn't do proper research. You should understand that there are students. And the woman was just, I'm very sure that the woman would be laughing. Like, because that is made for you. That's the first thing I invested in myself. And through 2019, 2020, 2021, I can see the difference. Do you get? So investment takes time. Investment is a journey. That's the first thing you have to understand. And then secondly, I think the next thing I'm going to say to you is that see, I had to write it in my notes because I can keep talking and talking, right? So the next thing I want to tell you is that your money mindset game has to be on point. Yes, see, I remember sometime when I did not have money, I don't used to be happy. Like, like around 2019, 2020, if I did not have money like this, I would not be happy with myself. It would feel as if everything had finished. I tell you, oh no, like even when I was saving, that thing happened during NYC, when there is no money in my account like this, and I remember the first few months, the June, July, hey, go easy. So if money finishes like this, I will not be having all this chest pain, and then and I started, and then I listened to Apostle Shegun Obaje when he talked about money and this, and he said you have to start learning how to detach yourself from money. Start learning. And then what's her name, Sarah Jakes also said something, that your worth should not be tied to money. So it should not be that when money, like there was a time where I really wanted to deal with it, so I gathered, I told you I'm a very resourceful person, so when I have something I want to deal with, I will gather resources. So I gathered a lot of resources, and one thing they were saying repeatedly was that you have to understand that your worth is not tied to the amount of figure you have in your account. It's not tied to it. And see, those things are easy to say, Momo. They are very, very easy to say. So what did I start doing? So gradually. I remember there was a month like that money finished like quickly in my hand. I started rejoicing. I started becoming like intentionally I was rejoicing. Intentionally I was so from there I moved to affirmations. From there I saw that affirmations were not really working. So I went to declarations, confessions, and that was where I stayed. Like I I put my tents in that aspect. So I put my tents very well there. So I would do affirmations, I'll do confessions, I'll do declarations, I'll say because I know where I am going to. I know I do not lack money. Like I was just saying that. So I started learning that okay, it's not even about money, the figure, it's about the people you have, it's about the things you do, it's about, I started learning. I'm still growing, I'm still learning. But what I'm saying is that your money game has to be on point. So you have to understand that your value as a person is not tied to money. So don't mag be sorry you. Mag be sorry you. I know, see, when I was growing up, my other brother, he will not have anything in his pocket too. But if my brother should dress up and come out, so, I just used to wonder, boy, and I'll be saying it in my mind, when we go out, and people are like, don't say, yes, boss. Yeah. And people, I'll be like, boy, you know, what the But then, as I grew, I later found out that it's not about the money you have in your pocket, it's about the person that you are as an individual. Do you get? So I started learning. So you too, you have to learn this thing. Now let me go to my third point. I don't need to check my book for that. My third point is the fact that you have to understand that whether you like it or not, the money that you are crying when you will lose, you will still spend more than it. I swear. The day I realized that, life may change. You know, and since then, I don't hold money to chest. I do not hold money, especially when it comes to giving out seeds. I don't hold money to chest. If I see that I'm already holding on to it too much, the next thing I tell myself is I say, Toluwakemi, before the end of this year, you're still going to spend more than this. Before the end of this month, you're still going to spend more than this. So let it go. That's what I tell myself. That is what I tell myself. There are some crazy things that I have done this year. Like when I sat down and I was looking at my financial records and I was like, me? You mean me? Pay, I have spent more than 2 million naira this year. Me. Hey. How are these things, And then I realized that by step, learning to detach myself from money, I am becoming better. There are times that I want to buy something and the next thing I'll be like, I want to buy something and the next thing I'll be like, if I don't spend my money, what else can I do? And I'll be like, okay, I can do this, I can do this, I can do this, I can do this. And I end up doing them and I end up having money. Do you get? So as much as possible, that's what I'm just going to say to you. I hope this thing, I hope it plants a seed in your heart and it blossom into a good tree, into a beautiful tree, into a flourishing tree. That's one thing now. So to my fourth point, take the risk, you will survive it. And that was one. And then another thing that I've started doing to myself is that, when it comes to taking risks, another thing I do to myself is that I say, see, let me take the risk right now. Let me take the risk right now. Let me fail right now. At least it will teach me. And then and then another thing is when you fail, you have to be able to sit down and say, why did this thing fail? Do you get? So that is actually the way that is how you actually fail honorably. When you sit down and say, what made me fail here? That's how you fail honorably. Do you get? So let me take the risks now. Let me lose the money now so that I can learn that okay, this is why, so I can do better in the coming years. Do you get? Because the year is, you see, by the grace of God, God's willing, you have long years. He already said, I satisfy you with long life. So you have long life to live your life. So why will you not be conjuring? Which is going to take me to my next point, which is delayed gratification. You have to start learning it. Delayed gratification. For example now, the MTN shares I bought in 2021, I did not even look at it all through. Like all through this year, I did not even try to track it. I did not even try to do anything. I think we bought it at 169, and the last research I did about it, I think it has turned to 189, from 169 to 189. So like 13 naira as you understand, 13 naira has jumped on it. I don't know even whether to look at it. The way I'm looking at it, though, see, I have crazy dreams. I imagine things a lot. And the beautiful thing about it is I love that I can embody my reality, my possibilities, And then I just tell myself that if that shares, I'll keep growing it. Maybe like the next 10 years, I can just, I was just thinking of it that I can just give it to my first child, I can just give it to my second child. I just say I can just, I can just give it to a friend. That's kind of life I want to live. I want to live a kind of life where I can give shares, I can give stocks, I can give I can give valuable things to people, to my friends, to my kids, to my husband. Yeah, yes. And that's kind of wife I want to be. That's kind of wife I want to be. Yes. When my husband is like our wedding anniversary, and I'm like, baby, I bought you this, baby, I purchased this. Yes. Okay, I'm getting too excited. Let me come back home. But that is it. That is the kind of life I want to live. So I understand that the life is there. So I'm giving to the process to get to there. Do you get me? So, all right. Basically, that's just what I wanted to say. Babe, don't sweat it too much. Okay, yes, you're going to spend 20,000 naira to buy 40,000 shares, right? The minimum, and you're going to spend 20,000 naira. Now, I shock you. You're going to spend more than that in the first quarter of 20. No matter how you say, January is always hard. I have to be careful. No matter how you say it, have you ever wondered that I still complain that I did not have money last week. How do I not have this money? How was I able to sort this thing out? And then it also helps you to build your trust and your faith in God. That is another thing. See, that is where I'm currently on now, where I can actually boast and rest on God and say, I know God's got me. Yeah, I know God's got me. See, I did two mind-blowing projects this year that I can't explain how the money came. But one thing I know that I did was I trusted the Lord, and the Lord made it happen. So I'm like, God, 2023, crazy faith. And that's one thing. See, Michael Todd taught a particular message, right, this year, crazy faith. I have a feeling that next year, that I have a knowing that next year or through this decade, that message is also going to blow up. The way relationship goes blow up, that message is going to blow up too. So I'm going to sit down with that message and really, really dive it, crazy faith. And that's that about that. Let me not, it doesn't go through. That's that about that. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please drop a comment if you did. Like this video. Subscribe to my channel if you have not. Have fun now. Subscribe, Joe. Alright, so till I come your way next time. My name is Tolu Akemi. Bye bye.